Hello everybody and welcome back to Revisiting the Wizarding World. This is the series where we go back and rewatch and review every single Harry Potter and Wizarding World movie, including the Fantastic Beasts franchise, and then at the very end we're going to be ranking them from worst to best, very much like we did with the Revisiting the MCU series, and I'm super excited to be continuing this series and moving on. In today's video we're going to be talking about the second film in the Harry Potter franchise, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. An ancient prophecy seems to be coming true at Hogwarts when a mysterious presence begins stalking the corridors of the School of Magic, leaving its victims paralyzed, and Harry and his friends must stop it before it gets completely out of control. And to be honest with you, this video might be kind of short, because this movie in general, although it's close to 3 hours, very much closely not only follows the first film, but also follows almost the book identically. There are obviously some changes to pacing, things like that, but for the most part, it's very much beat by beat, and there's really not a lot of surprises. I mean, just the style of Chris Columbus alone is so prevalent. There's even some very close shots to like Home Alone and Home Alone 2 in this that come up a couple of times. It just feels like you're kind of watching the same movie as the first one, and it very much follows that, and I like the continuity. But for the most part, it's just kind of just the same. But what this film does give is a bit more time for Harry to become acclimated to Hogwarts and the Wizarding World as a whole. And I do like that it keeps that magical element of surprise for Harry that will still be prevalent for a few more movies. We also get a new defense against the dark arts teacher in Gilroy Lockhart, portrayed by Kenneth Branagh, and he does a fairly good job with the character, though I do think there could have been some other actors who might have been a little bit better of a choice, but he's still one of my favorite characters from the books, and he's a pretty interesting character in this movie as well. And if J.K. Rowling wants to go ahead and write a real-life version of Magical Me just so I can pick up that copy and read it in a heartbeat, I totally would. And as a matter of fact, if they could also make Fred on Fred, The Many Faces of Me from the first Scooby-Doo film, I would buy that hands down also. Like, those two fictional books would be must-reads for me. But besides better immersing us in the Wizarding World, this film still suffers from some lacking CG, especially with Dobby and during the Quidditch match. Though this movie did only come out the following year from the original, there weren't exactly leaps and bounds on the technology between the two movies, but in terms of Dobby, I think he looks pretty good overall, either in stills or when there isn't a whole lot going on, but when he's put into scenes with humans, we begin to start approaching the Uncanny Valley, which is odd considering that these films were also released around the same time as Lord of the Rings, which did a much better job with a character like Gollum. But I can only consider some of the complexities considering that some of the creatures like Fox or the Basilisk look pretty damn good on their own, and they even made puppet versions for close-ups, kind of like Jurassic Park, so that was a work of genius on their end. However, when it comes to Quidditch, it looks just as bad, if not worse, than the first film in my opinion. I don't know what exactly that they were trying to achieve, but it just simply does not look great. As for the story itself, it's just sort of okay. It isn't that great except for the mystery element of the Chamber of Secrets and the kids trying to prevent whatever obstacles may pop up along the way. It does have some fun elements like Dobby trying to prevent Harry from going back to Hogwarts, the Whomping Willow, Aragog, and the Polyjuice Potion, but I mean even Voldemort and his entire lore of coming back kind of take a backseat in this story. Though he is relevant to the overall story, it largely feels like this movie spends so much time in finding out who's opening the chamber that once it's revealed who's actually doing it, it feels like there's really no one and the movie just sort of falls flat and has no real villain. And I think that's maybe why it doesn't feel like much is happening in this movie despite the near 3-hour runtime. Overall, Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets is a decent movie, but marginally less fun of a film than the first. It's still able to keep the magic alive by giving us more of what we liked from the first film and expanding upon the lore of the Wizarding World, but it's also a lot weaker in terms of some of the story elements, and it's just hard to get through at times. So those are my thoughts on Harry Potter and the Chamber of Secrets. What did you think about the movie? Did you think that it was better than the first? Where does it rank amongst your list? Let me know down in the comments section down below. And also while you're down there, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and ring the bell notification as we will be doing new videos of this series every single week leading up to the epic finale where we're ranking them from worst to best, and you don't want to miss out on that. And if you want even more content from me, be sure to head over to the Animated Apparel Company YouTube channel where I have new videos and live streams all the time, including my History of series. We do what if watch parties, my Titans Talk videos, or rather live streams, and all sorts of fun stuff. So make sure you head over there, give them a subscribe, as we have new content daily. But that's all I have for now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you in the next video.